This is the lounge and a very warm welcome to you. You'll notice straight away there's no Lord Anthony Dunkley. He's in Balmoral House at the moment, attending with several members of the royal family. We wish him the best of luck with his caviar and Shropshire blue cheese. Joining us this weekend, he's back after an absence. It's a very warm welcome to Easy Odds editor himself. It's Simon Hopper. Simon, how are you?
Very well, thanks, Paul. Very well indeed.
Good nick on the football betting front as well. So,
I am, yes. Got a Football League selection for the lounge as well, which I'm looking forward to.
And I have a listen to and a watch of the FA Cup videocast with Simon and Tom the Power Pal. And as always, he is an ever-present. He will be chopping trees later on. It is the Mad Dog, Ross Casey. Rossi!
How are you?
There's a lot going on for you to talk on. I mean, Celebrity Big Brother's gone mental, hasn't it?
It's been brilliant, yeah.
It's been
really good.
The best series we've had for a long, long time.
I think I'm the one who watches it all the time.
I watch bits of it
in this room, and I think I can say it for the most part. It's always really, really good. But this year it's been explosive.
It's not been the same since Ken Morley left for me.
Well, yeah, it's been a bit less risque.
The only Ken Morley fan in the whole building.
I'm not a fan. I wouldn't endorse Ken Morley's views, Paul. That's what I'll say.
Let's get that straight.
Yeah, let's
before there's any legalities going on.
But he would endorse his shop his shop skills.
His shop skills. Yeah. I don't think I saw that one.
No, from
Coronation Street. Sorry, yeah, it's been a long day.
Rita. Fantastic stuff. Okay, what do you do when you're sitting down watching Celebrity Big Brother? Does your lovely girlfriend watch it with you, or
of course she does? Yeah.
Petrified?
Yeah.
She likes it as well.
She loves it, yeah.
There you go. You can watch it in pairs.
We quite enjoy watching a meltdown on TV.
No, I'm trying this stuff. What is it? Can of lager.
Possibly a can of lager.
Cider, surely.
Can of cider, pizza in one hand, packet of cheese and onion crisps in the other. Well, that's the way I do it.
It's on every day, so it's a terrible diet.
It's a terrible diet. And he goes to bed drunk every single night. Let's start off, boys, with Football League. Yeah. We know it's the FA Cup fourth round this weekend. Some tremendous matchups. Simon, you must live in fear this weekend as Stevenage visit Shrewsbury.
Yeah, tough game for my beloved Stevenage this week, Paul, up at Shrewsbury. They're excellent at home. But Stevenage are in great nick, Paul. They're in the playoff places now.
Yeah, who would you believe that?
They go there with no fear, and they're 92 for the win if anyone fancies it. I'm not sure I'll take it myself, but certainly hope they win. But my best bet, Paul, it's actually my best bet of the weekends, including the FA Cup games. Oh, okay. It's Notts County to beat Peterborough, which is the best price of 12 to 5. But I make them favourites. I mean, Peterborough are just an absolute shambles. They've lost 9 of the last 12 games. Obviously, there's a famous Darren McAntony, the chairman, had a famous blast at the players, which has done them no favours at all.
That was hilarious.
It was funny, wasn't it?
10 pointers, I think it was quite impressive, wasn't it?
It was impressive, yeah, but it doesn't seem to have helped performances, Ross, to be honest. Whereas Notts County is starting to turn the corner. I mean, they're 6 places above Peterborough in the table for a start. 4 points in the last 2 games. They seem to have come out of their recent rut under Sean Derry. So basically, I think Notts County are a great price at 12 to 5.
Notts County, they're the oldest team in Great Britain.
They certainly are.
Affiliated to
Juventus, I believe.
Correct. There's not a thing they don't know here at easyodds.com. Okay, so it's Notts County at 12 to 5. Rossi, what have you got for us?
Well, firstly, I'd like to pat myself on the back because...
Go on, man, do it.
It's now 2 weeks in a row that I've got my Football League tip right. Benik Afobe only played for about 15 minutes on his debut and netted at 91 to 50. Mostly thanks to Blackpool because they passed him the ball. But there you go. It all counts in betting. So I'm pleased with that. And for this one, I'm actually going to League 2. I didn't really go to League 2 all that often, but I've found a bit of value here. Accrington, I don't like them quite as much now that they don't have James Beattie in charge. But still,
John Common's a legend, though.
Yeah, John Common knows that club very, very well. But they are at the Crown Ground, which they're not really great at. But they're playing a team, AFC Wimbledon, who, okay, they were on the telly and Akinfenwa caused a bit of a stir socially, and they played pretty well against Liverpool. But look at their overall form, and they've actually lost 4 of their last 5 home matches. Wow. And they're up against an Accrington team who are a bit sketchy, but they have never lost at Wimbledon in their whole history. So I think that the 31 to 20 on offer on the draw no bet market is actually pretty good value because, of course, with a draw no bet, if it's a draw, then you get your money back, and if Accrington win, then you win. And as they have never lost, and Wimbledon are clearly in pretty awful form, at home. I think 31-20 is a good ranking there.
We're going to talk about the Royal Rumble later on. Should Akinfenwa be in there?
I think he should be the number 30 entrant. Yeah.
He did well with me.
The surprise entrant.
Actually, by the time he does his walk from the entrance to the ring, he'll probably be out of puff.
That's true, yeah.
He'll have to be taken back out on a stretch. Those are the 2 Football League tips, as per normal, and you'll see it also on a weekly basis. If you've never viewed it before, the Premier League videocast is a cracker. But the FA Cup 4th round videocast this week, every single tip from Hops and Tom the Power Pal is odds against. We don't do this 4-9, 1-2 rubbish that other websites do. We give you VFM, plenty of value for money. Hops, let's talk about the darts.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 tremendous performances in the PDC and the BDO. So personally, I enjoyed the BDO more because there was more, I don't know, there was more feeling shown. It was just more emotional than the PDC, which for me is becoming robotic.
Yeah, I tend to agree, Paul. The BDO is great, and I'm a big Martin Adams fan. I was delighted to see him get to the final, and the semi-final and his final were both amazing matches. But you have to say Scott Mitchell was a worthy winner of the BDO. He really stepped up this year, and I'm looking forward to the 2016 renewal already.
And apparently he has bought his family a new tractor.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
so he should do.
Yeah.
So he should do. I'm not sure about his pink attire, but apart from that, he's
a little bit iffy,
he's a class guy.
But Premier League, we're close by to the start there, and there were a few sort of rumbles in the jungle keeping that theme going, as far as those that were named to take part in the Premier League this year.
Yeah, a bit of controversy, but although I think these new selections are fair. I mean, you've got Kim Hybrechts in there, who, while he's an inconsistent player, he's certainly box office, isn't he? When he's on it, he can produce some great stuff, and
he annoys everybody.
He does annoy everyone, which is great TV, isn't it? And he's playing Van Gerwen in the first match on February the 5th at the First Direct Arena in Leeds, which will be a very interesting game. And Stephen Bunting's the other one who, I mean, he's just been unbelievable since he went to the PDC, and you'd have to say he's in there on merit, really. He really does look a top 10 player at the moment. He's playing James Wade first up on February the 5th, which would be an interesting game, actually, because Wade's been a bit in and out. He's sort of hit form and then gone out of form in 2014. So basically, it's just a heads up, Paul, that on the week of the Premier League darts, which starts in a couple of weeks, obviously we'll have outright selections from me, match tips every week, look up tipster himself. We'll be providing his own unique angle into the Premier League as well.
So, are we going to get him in the studio, Lockup Tips?
Well, I'd love to get him in the studio, Paul, if Lockup is a regular watcher, and I would encourage him to get in touch and arrange a date to come in. I'd love to have him in. But yeah, definitely start watching the Premier League on the 5th of February. It's going to be absolutely brilliant.
There you go. That's loads to look forward to with the Premier League dots. Before we talk about Celebrity Big Brother in depth, and there's loads to talk about, can I just throw your way, and your way as well, a racing tip for Saturday?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a tremendous weekend of racing. PJ and Dunkley, we've got a special racing video cast out. Do have a watch for that, because Dunkers, who normally isn't very ultra confident about a tip, well, he's gone mental in this video cast. I've never known it like it. I want you to pick up a horse runs in the 3 o'clock at Cheltenham. This is for novices. It's the Neptune Novices Hurdle. And I'm going to go against the market favourites here with a horse I think is going to be about 16-20 to 1 in a 10-runner field. He's called Sunbuckle. I think his form has been underestimated, but the key to this horse is he's stepping up from 2 miles to 2 miles and 5 furlongs, and he won an Irish punter-pointer when he was younger. So I think he could be underestimated. He's got 10 to 12 pounds to find with the likes of Value at Risk, who's probably going to start favourite around about 2 to 1. But I think we could get a bit of profit out of him by backing him each way. It's Sunbuckle in the 3 o'clock at Cheltenham on Saturday, and it is live on TV.
And Paul, you're not one to blow your own trumpet, but you have been in a pretty unbelievable form this week, haven't you? Was it a 25 to 1 winner yesterday?
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice to get it, and I think what we always try to say, not only on the horse racing video cast, but every video cast we do is, there are 2 sayings I always abide by when it comes to punting. 1, never run with the herd. Well, you can run them a little bit of a time, but if you back the same way that everybody else does, sooner or later you'll go on a long losing run. So just push out left to centre every now and again. And 2, always look for the value. Never be scared to back something at a really big price. And if you back something, whether it be football, tennis, golf, David August in brilliant form at the moment, horse racing, reality TV, back progressively. So the bigger the price, the bigger amount of money you should have on your chosen selection. Okay, let's go to Channel. Is this the only good programme, Channel 5, or 5 as we call them now? I know they're back to Channel 5. Is this the only good programme, Channel 5?
They still got Neighbours.
I think they have Neighbours.
Have they got Neighbours? And Home and Away.
And Home and Away.
And have they as well? but
and
Kirsty's not.
every single CSI.
Kirsty doesn't read the news for them anymore, does she?
No, she doesn't know.
But for those of you who want, and for me, it's not really the look of Kirsty that does it for me. It's her voice, and she does present Desert Island Discs on Radio 4. It's wonderful just to listen to. I turn the light off and I just lie back on my bed. Right, Celebrity Big Brother. It's been a cracking series, as we said at the start. There are people that you can love, and the same people that you would love, other people would absolutely detest.
Yeah, well, that's proved true because there's been a pretty big market move, and the person that... There's two people that I don't like in the house, and that's Perez and Katie Hopkins, and they always fight, and they're very similar people. They both want to be centre of attention. They both want to shout and scream and prove that they're right and everyone else is wrong. So that's the reason that they clash, is that they're actually quite similar. And Katie Hopkins from nowhere has come into the lead at the top of the market at 2-1 ahead of Keith Chegwin. Poor old Keith Chegwin. He just last night's episode, he was forced to go to bed to tears because of Kavanagh's drunken outburst that he's Switzerland.
You can't do that to Chegwin.
And I'll tell you what, next time that Cav is up, he is going, because you do not make Keith Chegwin cry on national TV, because he's a national treasure.
He is.
But he's still in there at 3-1. My other tips were Michelle at 12-1, and she's shortened all the way to about 4-1. Now she's drifted out to 7-1, and she's coming across a bit of a lackey to Katie Hopkins, which isn't doing her much favours for me. And Perez, I tipped Perez at 10-1, and if it was a question of who's been the most talked about housemate, I think it probably would be Perez. Perez
just
is...
a tip,
oh yeah.
Total.
Perez is... He's a confused child man, isn't he? He's a 40-year-old man who you wouldn't wish upon your worst enemy, really.
I don't like him. I don't like him.
See, I love Katie Hopkins. You know why I love her? One, she speaks her mind, and because my speciality is horse racing. Two, she looks like a horse. So that's why.
I thought you were going to say my speciality speaking my mind.
Well, that's why, yeah. Yeah, let's not go there.
Yeah, she's certainly turned it around in terms of public opinion. It seems like lots of people do like her at 2-1. I can see why the bookies think that, because it seems across social media, people like Paul, who I wouldn't imagine would be a fan of Katie Hopkins, turns out to be a fan of Katie Hopkins, and that's why she's top of the market. And the big thing now, of course, is the eviction, which is tonight, as this is filmed on a Friday. And the favourite to go is Nadia, who has been the one person that, apart from Perez, who Katie has fallen out with. But Nadia is trying to take it upon herself to fight Perez's corner, and for whatever reason, people don't seem to be liking that. And she's favourite to go at 5-6. Alicia is there at 6-4, which is a pretty good price. Alicia seems to want to start an argument, but doesn't really know how to, and she's quite awkward in the house. But I think Perez at 7-1 is a pretty decent price for eviction, because he has annoyed a lot of people. You've seen the reaction from Simon and Paul to him. But then there are people like me who possibly would want to keep him in because he has been a talking point, and he isn't it. And okay, it's entertainment in an aggravating way, but it is entertainment. And
is it normally at this stage we still want to get rid of the boring people, don't you?
Exactly. So people could argue that Nadia has taken it upon herself to be the mother of the house, and you haven't really seen much of her personality. So maybe if as she goes, then we'll see a new dynamic from someone like Alicia, or even Perez. Maybe he'll do something a bit weirder. But yeah, 5-6 or 6-4 are decent options. But if you fancy a saver, I think Perez at 7-1 is a decent price.
There we go. Another 7-1 tip this time from Rossi, who's been in tremendous form for reality TV betting, well, since the year dot. Since we've been doing video casts, he's done it again. Hopefully, fingers crossed. What else is going on Easy Odds, gentlemen? Anything to highlight, to tell?
I think we need to mention Paul's rant video.
Yes.
If you go to Facebook and type in Paul Jacobs -champion tipster, you will find a rant video from Paul about Kevin Morales and about Jose Mourinho, two people that have peed Paul off this week, and he has a right go at both of them, and trust me, you need to see this video.
And clothing is removed.
I didn't plan to do it, to be fair, but I got so angry during the video, I thought, I'm not having this.
So please, if you're watching this, comment underneath if you have watched the video, because we absolutely love it and we hope that you do too.
And we hope, and make sure the kids aren't watching. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Anything else, boys?
Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble! Ah, yeah! Now see, when I was younger, I used to watch the Royal Rumble every single year. Actually, before we talk about the Royal Rumble, anything else social? On Easy Odds?
Just the usual. It's Friday, of course, so I've literally just put up the statuses challenge from Angus. He's given us 5 tips for the weekend and simply state true or false, and the person with the most winners there will get a £10 free bet. Which one, Mac?
And I do have a social point of order, Paul. I've decided to start my own Facebook page for my football tips.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So I was trying to think of a name that was original, that said it was, that had my name in it and said that, I did tipping, but I wanted to be a bit creative, so I called it Simon Hopper Football Tips. So
straight from the tip.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So it's facebook.com /
Brilliant.
Simon Hopper Football Tips. If you give the page a like, basically I provide all my tips I do on the site straight into your timeline. Basically what I do on Twitter but on Facebook, so give it a like.
Perfect.
Also, social-wise, Tom's asked us to plug the exclusive bulletins, did he say that he wanted us to call it? They're basically newsletters, so I think you'll be better at telling people about it.
Yeah, basically, if you're not subscribed to our newsletter, we call it newsletter, but it's a lot more than that. Basically, we provide, every Friday we have the Weekender, which provides all of our previews on site, the best bookmaker offers, all the best odds for every major event of the weekend. We also offer all the best bookmaker special promotions for the weekend. There's so many enhanced prices. For example, this weekend, Winner are offering Hurricane Fly at 3-1 to win the Irish Champion Hurdle, which you'll be hearing about if you subscribe to our newsletter channel. We also offer the best midweek bookmaker promotions as well for Champions League, League Cup, any good midweek racing. Basically, if you want to keep alerted to everything good about us as an odds comparison site, make sure you sign up to our newsletter.
And how deep and thick will Ross's beard grow in the next 3 months? Okay, let's talk about Royal Rumble, which I loved. I loved it in the old days with Hulk Hogan and Texas Tornado and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the tugboat and I don't know. We could go on and on, couldn't we? But it's moved on. And I tell you what, it's just as intense nowadays. And the favourite for the Royal Rumble this weekend, it's Sunday, isn't it? Yeah.
Sunday night. Yeah.
Is a guy called, and I looked him up. Right, I have to admit, I looked him up on Wikipedia because I didn't know about him. Roman Reigns.
Great name.
Which is a great name, and he's a guy who used to actually be a defensive end for the Minnesota Vikings and the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was okay at that, but I don't know, I think he had an injury as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
And a loss of form. And like all big men with muscles and lots of hair on their chest or on their head, they go into WWE.
Yep, and he's done very well for himself. He's the 4-9 favourite to win. He's kind of been bred as the next big thing by the higher ups at WWE, and there's a lot of talk on the internet from fans as to whether it's a good thing, because it's kind of like they're pushing him down fans' throat. They're telling us that he's the next big thing.
Is he a goodie or a baddie?
He's a goodie.
He's a definite goodie.
He's a definite
Are
goodie.
there enough goodies in? Is that the problem? That they wanted to sort of almost like a...
Well, interestingly, the second favourite is a guy called Daniel Bryan, who last year, 2014 was going to be the year of Daniel Bryan. It was all the build up to him beating Triple H at WrestleMania, and then beating Randy Orton for the title at WrestleMania, and there was a big build up to it, and the fans went crazy for it when it happened. And then he got a serious neck injury, and he's been out for 9 months. So now he's back, and is it right to just put it straight back onto him? That's the question that the people at WWE have to say, and that's why he's at 7-4 second favourite, because last year they went with goodie Batista, who was coming back from a film, Guardians of the Galaxy, which he did quite well in, and it sold very well. But he came back too soon, and the fans didn't buy it because it was kind of like he hasn't earned his stripes, and it got booed out of the building. People did not like the fact that Batista had won that. So
a bit like Sergeant Slaughter.
A little bit like Sergeant
Slaughter.
Like Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah,
So
I don't like him.
So I'm saying that if Daniel Bryan wins, then they will pop for him. But there's a question mark about Roman Reigns as to whether the fans want him to be the guy yet. They are behind him, but do they want him to be the guy? And if they don't, then the crowd might react badly to it, and of course the management don't want that. But the interesting thing for me about the Royal Rumble always is, of course, that it's 30 people in this match.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I thought everyone could win that
No,
match.
you've got to come in late, haven't you?
So
You can't be in the first 5 to go in the ring, can you?
you can.
Well, you can, but it's hard work.
Oh yeah, of course it's hard work. But as a kid, I thought anyone could win it. So when Vince McMahon would say, it's Bushwhacker Luke, he could go to WrestleMania, I thought, do you know what, he could. But of course he can't. So that's why I've only highlighted 4 people in the market. Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns are the 2 most likely to win it. Randy Orton has come back from injury and he could come back to win it. But an interesting one is 14-1 Dolph Ziggler, who was on a similar run to Daniel Bryan from last year, where the fans want him to win. And I think that the fans are really behind Dolph Ziggler at the moment. And at 14-1, he's in the storyline, he's been fired and now he's just been brought back, so he's in line to be in the Royal Rumble. I think 14-1 is a decent price.
Is he a goodie or a baddie?
He's a goodie.
There's a lot of goodies here.
There's a lot of goodies, yeah.
Who's the nastiest baddie at the moment in WWE? Who does everyone
That's going to be in the Rumble. We've got the Authority guys, which are people like Big Show and Kane, who...
Kane, big fan, yeah.
What's happened to The
Simon
Undertaker?
Loves.
Is he retired?
He fought in WrestleMania,
Right.
and he got a concussion fighting against Brock Lesnar, who's a bit of a beast. He's a former UFC fighter, so he's a real fighter, and he's pretty old. And
He's alongside 45,
yeah.
isn't he?
Now that he's lost his undefeated streak, I think it could be just time for him to retire.
What is it? The Tombstone, wasn't it?
The Tombstone Pile
The
Driver.
Tombstone Pile Driver. He did that to Hulk Hogan. Tremendous stuff. Okay,
Do you know
brilliant
what the
stuff.
Royal Rumble reminds me of?
Go on.
It reminds me of a big Springfield handicap. Right? Because you've got 30 runners,
Yeah.
you've got massive draw buys,
Yeah.
and you can have problems in running. So,
If you go and have a look on YouTube and look at some of the old Royal Rumbles, they are hilarious,
great.
aren't
Yeah,
they?
really good.
There's some brilliant ones. Guys, thank you so much for this weekend. Loads of betting opportunities. Keep up to date with the FA Cup 4th round, all the different markets going on Easy Odds. New ones literally every single hour, right up until the off. And do have a look at some of the markets you maybe sort of don't know an awful lot about, like the Asian handicap betting, etc. Here on easyodds.com. Have a cracking weekend. Enjoy.